Hi kind yogis, welcome to your Murrin Park yin yoga class. Feel free to bring a couple of blocks, a bolster, and some straps to your mat with you for this practice. We're going to go ahead and just get started in seated today. So if you need to, elevate your hips up on blocks so that your knees are slightly below the hips. If you're extra flexible and you're comfortable sitting cross-legged, you're more than welcome to do so. We're going to bring our hands to either rest on our knees face up or down, or creating this teardrop shape, you can stack one palm over top of the other and just bring your thumbs to connect. And close the eyes, soften the muscles in your face, and just begin by noticing where your body is in contact with the earth. And feeling that connection. And just noticing the sensation of groundedness. And as you trace your awareness across your body, can you start to notice the hips? And perhaps just moving slightly, tilting them forward and back. Posterior and anterior, just this rocking movement, very subtle. And then slowing that movement down, stopping at the point that you feel that your torso can rest easily on top of the structure of your hips. And then creep your awareness up the length of your spine, and stacking one vertebrae on top of the other, creating this very strong column, supporting the shoulders and the neck. Roll the shoulder blades forward and up towards the ears. And then take an exhale and drop them back and down. Find length through the back of your neck and the crown, and a very subtle tuck of the chin. Just find a few moments of stillness in your day and quiet. Without the need to control your breath here, can you just let your belly hang out and find a natural breathing pattern? And we'll just start to find some movement. So let your hands rest on the knees, and we'll start with the neck. Just drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. You don't actually need to use any force of your hands just yet. And then turn the chin so that you're looking down over the shoulder at the floor. So your chin is pointed towards the right side, looking down over that shoulder. Then carve your chin across your collarbone all the way through center. Looking over your left shoulder at the ground now. Good. Rotate the ear towards the shoulder. And then coming all the way up and around and over. We'll find the seconds, do that again. So looking over the right shoulder, ear to shoulder. Carve the chin down and around. Ear to shoulder. Look over the shoulder. And then create these circles and change directions. And then just continuing these movements now, you can connect all the dots. And then come back to neutral. Take the back of your right hand to your lower back. And you might stay here, just allowing this elbow to kind of relax, or you might start to creep the hand up towards the middle of the shoulder blades. Just finding this opening here across the anterior delts and the elbow. And then from here, drop your left ear towards the shoulder, and then the left hand to rest on the side of the head if you need the extra added weight. Close the eyes, See if you can visualize your natural steady breath traveling all the way and swirling around the right side of your neck. You're going to be here for about a full minute, so do your best to just notice all the sounds around you, either coming from this video or the sounds coming from your space. Acknowledge them and then let them go, coming back to this moment. Making this posture somewhat of a meditation. And just resisting the urge to fidget or wiggle or move, can you sit in stillness? Committing to this posture until it's time to release. Just practicing discipline. Practicing discipline, just leaning into boredom, leaning into thoughts that rise up or feelings or sensation and just accepting them. Allowing them and letting them pass. Releasing the top hand down to the knee, and then release the hand behind you. When you're ready, roll through the shoulders, letting that side go. And we'll come to the second side. So bring the back of your left hand to either your lower back or creep it all the way up to the space between the shoulder blades, just kind of resting there. And then from here, you're just gonna let that right ear drop down towards the right shoulder. An option to just stay here if you have a sensitive neck, you don't need the added weight. Gravity does enough work on its own. Or if it feels good to you, you can take this right hand just to rest on the ear. Don't use force. You don't need to. You can use a little bit, but just be really careful here. We're using time and gravity to do the work as opposed to force. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out to land back in this moment. Noticing sensation around the outside of the left side of your neck. Just noticing in yin, we work a lot with the muscle spindle reflex, which is the stretch reflex. So your body naturally, to protect itself from stretching too much, too far, or too fast, it'll actually turn on this reflex that causes the muscle to contract. And that's why it takes about 30 seconds for your muscles to fully sit in and surrender to a stretch. So we're just using time and to kind of override that reflex, just waiting it out until the muscles start to calm. If your mind has wandered off, just know that it's completely natural. Your brain is simply an organ that's connected to your central nervous system, and it's constantly taking in information from your peripheral nervous system. The limbs, the skin, that sense of touch, smell, sight, taste. And when it brings in information, it stimulates the brain, which can cause thought, or does cause thought. So it's impossible to turn that thought off, but we can work to quiet the mind. And release this right hand down and take your left hand down slowly. Okay, and then relax as you draw the shoulders in rotation, scapular blades up, back, and down the back rib cage. Good, we'll create a little bit of movement here. Move through the torso, the neck, and the hips. So creating these circles. And changing directions. Beautiful. Come back to neutral. Let's take the hands to the back of the head or the neck. You're gonna open the elbows, breathe in. On your exhale, close them and round the upper back. Inhale to open the heart space forward, elbows back. Exhale to close. One more time, open and close. Good, open. And keep your spine neutral instead of rounding. Draw the elbows together and then tuck chin to chest. And we're not going to pull, we're just going to allow the weight of the head or the hands just to kind of work with gravity. And you're going to stay here for a full minute. If I'm in your way, I'm filming, but you're more than welcome to interrupt because I can just edit it out.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay, sure. Release the grip of your hands and slowly rise up. And when you're ready, let's just take a bit of a twisting sensation through the spine. So side to side. And then left hand to knee, right hand behind you. Lengthen up tall. And on your exhale, twist. So your option for this twist here, you can stay, or you can take this right hand behind you, hooking it on the inner left thigh, finding a bit of a bind. Last thing to twist is your neck, as it's usually, if you're not injured, the most flexible part of your spine. Come back to center and let's go right into the second side, finding our counter twist. So right hand to left knee, left hand or fingertips behind you and twist. Option to take that bind by taking your left hand all the way around the low back, hooking the hand on the inner thigh and twisting. And still maintaining your depth of breath. In our modern day society, we spend a lot of time in a sympathetic nervous system state, which tends to create a lot of tension in the lungs. We have chronic tightness in the lung space, and that's due to like our shallow breathing pattern. It's all in the upper compartment of our chest cavity. So we're working here in this twist to really actually use it to our advantage. So as you inhale, can you stretch the lung tissue, pushing against the walls of your chest? Beautiful. Come back to center, and we're actually going to come to our tabletop posture and just finding a neutral spine. Take a few rounds of cat and cow before we move into our heart opener. So rounding and arching into spinal extension and flexion. And then finding our spinal extension, so step the hands to the front edges of your mat. Option to bring the chin to the floor or the forehead. We're going to stay here for a full minute, tilting the sit bones up. Breathe deeply. If you notice that your mind is wandering off again, just gently pulling it back. We tend to kind of cling to pleasant sensation or pleasant thought and push away or avert negative or less pleasurable sensation or feelings or thoughts. Can we work to just feel neutral? To not crave or be averted to, but just find equanimity. Allowing each feeling or sensation to arise and fall within your body, within your human experience, and pass through. Good. Take this right arm and thread it underneath the left, coming into a spinal twist. Relax the head down, and then walk the left fingertips overhead and take several deep breaths here. And for the second half of this side, you might take this left hand behind you and hook the inner right thigh, twisting the chest towards the sky, and just a little more. Good, come back to neutral. And let's take this left arm underneath. Right finger pads walk out, forward in front of you. Some deep breaths. Replace this right hand to either the lower back or take that bind if you like. Right hand down in front of the face. And we'll come down into a couple more stretches. So you're going to lower down onto the belly and we'll start in Sphinx posture. So legs come towards the back of the mat. Bring your finger pads to touch together in front of you. And then you're going to rotate the elbows underneath the shoulders and just find this gentle upper back bend. Shoulders down the back. Close the eyes as you lift and lengthen through your crown. 3 more breaths. And you're going to take this right hand out to the side, press into the palm, and then we're going to take this left leg back behind the hip, rocking over, opening into this really nice stretch through the shoulder, a prone shoulder stretch. So the left hand can rest on the hip or the lower back, and you might take this left hand to just float with gravity. Left hand comes in front of the face. Go ahead, rock over the belly and find the second side. Left arm out. And then just take this right leg back behind you, relax the head down. Right arm can relax in space or tuck it behind the low back. Replace the right, roll onto the belly. We've got one more stretch for the shoulders here. So you're gonna come to bring the arms to tent, cactus out to the sides. Inhale to lift the chest. On your exhale, relax the right shoulder down towards the floor. You might not touch, and that's okay. Just getting this really nice anterior stretch through the delt. Left hand or left shoulder down. Do that about 3 to 5 times. Good, and for your final big back bend, we're gonna press into the hands and lift to a full cobra. Lightly engage the glutes. Elbows can be bent if you like, just to support the lower back. And just take 5 deep breaths across the belly. And tap down, tuck the toes, and we'll come into a downward dog, just releasing that back bend for 3 breaths. Tap the knees down and close your practice in a child's pose. Just bring the knees together, let the arms relax in front of you, forehead to the mat.
Yeah, it goes right down there.
I encourage you to stay in your child's pose anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, just allowing the nervous system to slow down.
Oh, I see the tag. Yeah, we took it a few years ago.
Namaste.